am nothing but an echo, a whisper crawling through the crumbling temples among the stones that still hold the heat of an indomitable civilization. Today, I am the soul of the Aztec Empire, and this is my story. Before the great temples, before the wars and the emperors, there was a nomadic people wandering the northern lands. They called us Mexica. We were foreigners, children of the arid land of Aztlan, an island wrapped in legend where the sacred fire was born to guide us toward glory. But it was not our choice. It was a divine command. Huitzilopochtli, our sun god, the left-handed hummingbird of war, spoke to us. His voice burned like the noonday sun. March. Seek the eagle perched on a cactus, devouring a serpent. There you shall build your home. And so we marched. For generations, we crossed valleys, rivers, and mountains. We endured the scorn of other peoples. We were slaves. We were servants. We were the dispossessed. Until one day, in the middle of a misty lake, we saw it. There it was, the eagle, the cactus, the serpent. We had arrived at Tenochtitlán, and what a city we built. Upon the water, we raised temples. Upon the mud, we forged empires. Tenochtitlán was born of will and blood. We built causeways that crossed the lake, chinampas that fed thousands, canals where canoes glided like arrows. Tenochtitlán was not just a city, it was the reflection of the heavens on earth. Every stone, every stairway, every sacrifice was an offering to the gods. At the top of the Templo Mayor, our priests tore out still beating hearts to feed the sun. War was our destiny, and religion our driving force. It was not enough to survive. In time, we ceased to pay tribute and began to collect it under the guidance of great Tlatoanis like Itzcoatl, Moctezuma Huerta, and Ahuitzotl. Our weapons conquered distant peoples. The Triple Alliance, Tenochtitlan, Texcoco, and Tlacopan. The empire grew like a storm. From the Gulf Coast to the southern valleys, more than 5 million people paid us tribute. Gold, jade, cacao, quetzal feathers, and above all, prisoners for sacrifice. But every empire carries within it the seed of its downfall. I was the greatest of all Tlatoanis. Under my rule, Tenochtitlan reached its greatest splendor and its greatest fragility. Moctezuma Xocoyotzin, a wise man, feared and respected. He ruled not only with the power of the army, but with the force of omens. And the omens were dark. There were signs everywhere. A comet crossed the sky. A tower of the Templo Mayor burst into flames on its own. Cries were heard on moonless nights. Something was coming. Something the gods refused to reveal. And then they arrived. From the east, as if rising from the sea, came men with pale skin and armor of metal. They brought fire in their hand, beasts never seen before, horses, and an ambition as ravenous as a starving jaguar. We received them as envoys of the gods. Moctezuma hesitated. Was Cortés Quetzalcoatl the god destined to return from the east? Should we surrender or resist? Diplomacy was his choice, but the men of iron knew only how to conquer. Silently, Tenochtitlan opened its gates, and the wolf entered the heart of the lamb. The city grew tense. Betrayals were spun in the shadows. The Mexica's indigenous allies, humiliated for years by tribute, sided with the Spaniards. When the Mexica rebelled, violence exploded. Moctezuma was killed. Cortés fled and wept in the rain in what they called La Noche Triste. But he returned with thousands of allies, with more gunpowder, with more rage. Tenochtitlan resisted like a cornered lion. For weeks, our streets were stained with blood. Our temples crumbled. Our canoes were set on fire. And on August 13th, 1521, the heart of the empire stopped beating. But no, we didn't die. They called us defeated, but we still sing in Nahuatl. We still live in the mountains. We still dance to the gods. We still carry Mexica blood in our veins, because an empire can fall, but a people never disappears. I was the Aztec Empire. My voice was a scream, a song, thunder, and although my temples have become ruins, there are still those who remember me. You who have heard this story now carry within you a fragment of me.